Hey everyone, and good afternoon. This is Dr. Shiraz Farooq and Sydney Farooq.
Hey, how's it going this evening?
We're at DaBootyDoc Talk. DaBootyDoc Talk.
You heard it from the doc himself.
DaBootyDoc Talk.
Welcome again. So we've been going this whole month of February, and we kicked off in January for our talk show series. So we're just trying to open up the conversation about questions about the rear. So we've got you covered from top to bottom, right, doctor?
Absolutely. DaBootyDoc is here with Sydney Farooq, who's my spouse. This is Dr. Shiraz Farooq, board certified colorectal surgeon in Tampa, Florida. For everybody joining in, hi everyone.
Thanks, hey.
Good afternoon, good evening. We are here from Tampa, live at Colowell, America.
Yes,
today.
If you haven't been to our headquarters, we're at our proctology practice where we just finished up our day. I just had to ask the cleaning lady not to vacuum. Dang it.
Yeah, we'll have her back in the office tomorrow. Hopefully that'll work out, or maybe this evening if she comes back.
Yeah. So what's our topic this evening?
Drum rolling, guys. Next month is colorectal cancer awareness month.
That's right, month of March.
Month of March. So please wear blue. And during this month, we'll be talking about colorectal cancer, and we're kicking that off today with the colorectal cancer talk 101.
That's right. So we'll be talking about what is colon cancer, how it can be diagnosed, ways to prevent it, what your risk factors are. So if you have any questions during the show, feel free to put us a little text. We got the screens right in front of us. We can see what you're talking about. This affects a lot of people. How common is it?
Very common, guys. This is the number 2 and number 3 colorectal cancer in America and the rest of the world, and it is affecting a lot of people that are young. In fact, the American Cancer Society, the American Colorectal Society, Gastroenterology Society, and all the other big people that are getting together, they're all understanding that this is becoming more prevalent, and now they have dropped the age to age 45 and above for people to undergo colonoscopy.
That's right. So it used to be age 50, 55, it keeps going lower and lower, and that definitely tells you something about its prevalence, I would say.
What it tells us is that we're all getting colorectal cancer earlier, and this is bad news for us because as human beings, we are developing this abnormality inside us, which is very deadly.
Yes. And, it's one of those areas of the body that is A, internal, B, you don't spend a lot of time down there yourself. So, and the symptoms can be, misdiagnosed too, because they are common with a lot of other things.
Correct. Colorectal cancer should be taken very seriously, guys. I think next month, you guys will hear a lot from everybody around us. We are starting this off earlier and trying to get people educated.
Yes.
In fact, I'm also getting my colonoscopy next month.
We had to do it.
Yes, guys. Your favorite DaBootyDoc is getting his colonoscopy in the month of March also.
First time.
First time.
Wait, does that mean you're 50?
Yeah, around that corner. I am a little late, like a lot of people out there who are late.
I'm pretty sure if you were a proctologist too, you'd probably avoid it as well.
Well, I think everybody avoids it. This is something.
And that's what we're trying to tell you not to do. So that's actually why we insisted that Dr. Farooq gets his colonoscopy, because of his age, and he tells people every day, so he has to practice what he preaches.
Correct. And I'll be going live at that point before and after the colonoscopy, so I could tell you guys what it is like so that we can all experience DaBootyDoc undergoing his colonoscopy.
It'll be a good time for some of us if you like a little bit of torture.
I think I'm very hopeful that I will have a pretty good colonoscopy, and I'm hoping that I don't have any polyps or tumors or something like that.
Yes, some will have other problems, and we'll talk about those too. So let's see if anyone has anything to add. Go ahead, throw it out there. I'm curious, has anyone had a colonoscopy who's listening already?
Or I want to know if anybody has had colon cancer.
Or in their families.
Very important. Second thing, I wanted to bring it up. This is a educational, informative program for fun and for education. So we will mix some jokes in it. The DaBootyDoc Talk is about educating our public, which includes our friends and family and people on social media, so that they can understand a little bit about colorectal cancer and other digestive health issues.
Someone has to start the conversation, right? And doctors are a good source for a little bit of fun information.
Correct. If you have a serious medical problem, please talk to your doctor or your provider.
Yes.
We're not here to treat or diagnose anything. We're here to educate you and make you laugh.
Have some fun. Colonoscopies are so fun. So tell me.
Actually, when I was in my fellowship, we used to have a sticker that said hemorrhoids are fun. And I was like, what is that?
Sure.
Yeah, it was on like a sticker.
That's
Hemorrhoids
okay.
are fun.
I'm pretty sure we had a giant 25-foot banner outside of our practice about gotroids. So
Gotroids, yes, we did. Colowell America in Tampa, Florida had a giant 60-foot banner that said gotroids, #gotroids.
That's right. So we know a lot about the butt stuff, but I want to know, what is colon cancer?
So guys, colon cancer is cancer that develops in the colon. Is that easy or what? Actually, let me explain it. So colon is a part of the human body that is there to collect the food and digestive waste. It is the dumping ground of all the food that is processed. And the processing system makes this into poop that stays in the colon and the rectum and then is pooped out. So that is the tube inside the human body and other animals, which is part of the digestive system, the end part that collects the water out of it and mixes up the food, processes it so that it becomes undigestible. No, it becomes poop, and then we are able to evacuate it. And cancer is a Greek word, I believe. It means crab. It grabs you. So cancer is a malignant crab, C-R-A-B, crab. Crab. So colon. So hold on, crab and crab. So colon crab is colon cancer.
Well, and
something like that.
The zodiacal sign for cancer is a crab.
Yes, crab. So that's actually the connection there, that the cancer is a crab-like association where the cells become abnormal. They become more than they should grow. They outgrow their normal lining and they become a tumor. And that tumor then grows into a malignancy that becomes a cancer and an abnormality. And malignancy is when it becomes, when it goes to other parts of the body and it goes through your blood vessels and lymphatic channels and spreads. So when a cancer spreads, that's malignant cancer. And benign cancer is something that is localized.
So when they're naming the cancer, colon cancer, breast cancer, it's based on where the cells are located in the body.
Correct. It has the anatomical location where the cells arise, and different portions and different parts of the body have different types and different qualities. So the colon cancer behaves different than the breast cancer or the lung cancer.
Okay.
And
then the cells are just, I've heard the word mutating a lot.
Correct.
With cancer.
So mutations are abnormal genetic multiplication for abnormalities that happens, like if a cell divides from one cell into two cells and then two cells become four cells, and that goes on. So during that multiplication process, the DNA is copied. Mm-hmm. And the DNA copy has an error rate, and that error rate translates to cancer simply. That's what I would like to say.
That's so simple.
So that's a simple way.
So your DNA that's being replicated as the cells replicate are having some sort of malfunction. They're corrupted.
They're getting corrupted, like a digital file can be corrupted. So the same way the DNA can be corrupted, and they turn abnormal and turn into cancer.
Mm-hmm. Now, is that a tumor then at that point?
So at that point, it's a tumor or a polyp. So this is something very important I want everybody to realize, because I tell my patients this also. Colon cancer is one of the only cancers, guys, that can be prevented if you remove a benign or precancerous polyp. For example, simply, if you have a breast cancer that slowly develops, the time when you find a breast cancer is already turned into a cancer. The lump has become malignant or abnormal. If it's in the lung, if you have a little tiny nodule that grows, by the time you see it, it's a cancer. In the colon, however, You can literally nip it in the bud. Nip the evil in the bud. You can do a colonoscopy or some other procedure, remove the abnormal cells, and you could cure somebody of colorectal cancer. How would you like to say that? I cure cancer. Pretty good, yeah.
Can you tell by the way it looks?
Sometimes we can tell by the way it looks. Sometimes we have to look with a microscope. So that means that you have to take a biopsy, which means that you take some cells and you send them to a lab, and a specialist looks under a microscope with DNA testing to find the answers.
So let's backtrack a little bit. We talked about what colon cancer is.
Correct.
It's located in the colon. It's mutation of cells that forms into a tumor or a polyp.
And that can grow into a malignancy, which is a tumor that grows faster and into different parts of the body.
Travel to different parts of the body.
Yes.
So if I'm worried about developing colon cancer, what type of risk factors should I be looking out for?
So colon cancer is a big deal. It is in the general population. We know the first thing is age.
We talked about that.
Something you cannot avoid. When you turn 50, I'm going to be 50 next,
This
April, yes. So when you turn 50, your chances of colorectal cancer goes up because of age. As we grow older, our bodies are replicating, and the replication process has errors in it. So the more you age, the more you have chances of having different types of errors or replication problems or cancers. And colon cancer is one of the commonest ones. Secondly, the second thing that is important is genetics. Like I said, if you have bad genes, like if you wear
Levi's.
Levi's were good genes. I was going to say that. I was going to say Jordache. No, Jordache was nice.
Jordache too.
Jordache was a nice pair of jeans, but half the people don't even know what Jordache is anymore. Am I right? So Levi's 501s were very good jeans made in Pakistan, where I grew up. So I bought those also. So good genes are very important. And if you have bad genes, you can get colorectal cancer. There are some families where they wear jeans that are not good. And those jeans are not Levi's. And those jeans sometimes develop.
We're not sponsored by Levi.
No, we're not talking about those genes, guys. We're talking about the DNA and genetic material that's inside a cell. So there are some genetic conditions where you have 2 to 3 times higher risk of colorectal cancer. These are very rare. But some families have multiple family members where their parents have colorectal cancer, the children can get it, the aunts or uncles can get it.
Can it be the other way too? Like, no one in my family has cancer, but then I end up with colorectal cancer.
Correct, and that can happen. That can be a new mutation, or that could be some other genetic thing that has not manifested itself. So genetics has a big role to play in that.
What about everyone in my family gets colorectal cancer, but I never develop it? Is that possible too?
That is also possible, and you're one very lucky person. So
it's subjective.
So the third thing that is important is environmental factor. Now this is very important, guys. I'm going to say this very carefully. When you put something in your mouth, it comes out the other way, yes?
And it touches everything in between.
And it touches everything in between. So what you eat is what you become. And if you eat crappy food, processed foods, if you eat red meat, if you smoke, if you drink alcohol, and if you eat a low fiber diet. These are 4 or 5 things that cause and attribute and increase the risk of colorectal cancer. This has been proven over and over and over by multiple people and multiple societies. In fact, the WHO and other organizations have said that red meat is a pre-carcinogenic material that can cause cancer. So
is that because it has its own defects, because it grew inside of another being too?
We're also thinking that it could be because it's not plant material, it's animal protein and animal DNA, and human beings react adversely to other DNA.
Digesting it.
So that is why having a plant-based diet is better than eating a lot of steak and red meat.
We still eat our beef, don't worry. But everything
sometimes,
in moderation.
So the other thing that we know very clearly is carcinogenic, meaning can cause cancer, is processed meats, processed and grilled meats that are, like if you make a steak every day, or if you make hot dogs every day, and if you eat bacon every day, those have a lot of nitrogen. And when this nitrogen is burnt and charcoaled, that charcoal is cancer. And that causes cancer inside us and causes the cells to become abnormal growth, and then that eats through us. Also, smoking and alcohol intake have been attributed to colorectal cancer. Now, you also heard one more thing I said. Do you remember what that was? Low fiber diet. Let me say that. Colorectal cancer has been shown to be decreased in patients by at least 22% if you eat a high fiber diet.
And why is that? Because the fiber is helping remove the bad chemicals or the foods that are not good for you? Or?
You are so smart. This is the simplest answer that we need to give people. Fiber is like a brush through the colon.
Scrub your colon.
Scrub your colon
with fiber. That's the shirt I want. Scrub your colon.
Eat fiber.
Eat
I like
fiber.
this. We should make a sticker with that. Scrub your colon, eat fiber.
Don't get them started on ideas for things.
Okay, so fiber is very important, and it prevents and decreases the incidence of colorectal polyps as well as colorectal cancer. We already know that has been proven, and it is very healthy to eat fiber. So those were things that could decrease your risk of colorectal cancer.
I mean, honestly, before I met Dr. Farooq, go ahead, what were you going to say?
I was going to add exercise.
Yeah, of course.
Very important, because they have also found out that metabolic syndrome, where people are obese and they have increased body fat, causes us to develop abnormal hormonal chemicals, and these chemicals and these conditions can add to cancers, including colorectal cancer.
I was going to ask you about that, because I noticed that a lot of times sedentary has, what's the word I'm looking for?
Sedentary.
Yeah, lifestyle is correlated with cancers.
Yeah, so what happens is that if you sit on your butt, horrible idea, guys. Shake your booty.
You'll even get hemorrhoids.
Yes, that too. And shake your booty, okay? The Booty Doc is saying that. Please shake your booty, go out there, exercise, eat better food, eat less red meat, don't smoke tobacco, don't drink a lot of alcohol. You'll live longer and happier.
And what I was going to say is that before I met Dr. Farooq, I had a lot of these bad lifestyle habits. I definitely cooked at home, but I ate out way more. I never thought about eating fiber. I'm sure I ate fiber because I ate fruit and stuff, but it wasn't part of my regimen. And exercise too. I mean, I'm not an inactive person, but I now make it more my routine, and my life has definitely changed, just like our patients that experience the same thing. So if you take these small measures, you can do. I don't drink alcohol. I probably easily lost 15 pounds from that. And having fiber every day, I know that I'm very regular. I don't have any colorectal problems. Thank you, Jesus, for now.
So a shout out to one of my teachers who's online joined us. Dr. Coco is one of the colorectal surgeons from Columbus, Ohio.
Hey.
Dr. Coco, how are you? Wanted to say hi. Colorectal cancer is a very big deal, and when we remove these cancers from the colon and we operate and take them out, when you look at these abnormalities, they look horrible. They look like crabs, cancer, growth that is abnormal, and it literally eats through you. Mm-hmm. So I think the biggest message we need to give people is that you can get to improve your health if you eat better food, and your colon cancer risk goes down. Mm-hmm. Big deal.
Yeah. So how am I diagnosing this? What are my treatments? You just talked about seeing the cancers or the polyps, removing them. How does this process go?
So diagnosis of a colorectal cancer is done with a colonoscopy, where you take a biopsy. Colonoscopy is a procedure where you pass a camera through the bottom and you wave that magic
wand. Is it like a GoPro?
Kind of like a GoPro inside the butt. Yes. That would be the simple way to tell people.
Does it have a little windshield wiper?
No, but it has an irrigation channel which can do that.
Okay. I think it blows air too, right?
It blows air. It has another channel to take a biopsy. which is a pincer mechanism that can take a bite. So that bite is then going on a petri dish or a slide, so a microscope can evaluate, the doctor can evaluate it and tell you are these cells abnormal or not. So that's called a biopsy. So biopsy of a polyp, a lesion, can diagnose you colorectal cancer.
Do they have robots that do this too?
No, we don't have ChatGPT yet, but I believe there is a robotic snake in the development which you could get at home and put it up your butt and get a diagnosis.
That's actually a really good idea.
No. There are simpler ways.
It's not a good idea.
There's
too many risks involved.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to tell you. At-home tests are now available in America and the rest of the world.
Not colonoscopy tests.
Not a colonoscopy test. Not a robotic snake.
Or blood tests.
Blood test and poop tests. So poop tests can be done at home. You get a sample and you send that sample in a box to a laboratory. They look at it and they tell you if there's abnormal cells and if there's a chance of cancer. Okay, these tests have fancy names. One of them is very good. It's called Cologuard.
Yes.
I wanted to call it Colowell, but didn't happen.
No, good thing you wouldn't have had your name.
I know, it's okay. But the point is that
how do you do a blood test at home? Is it?
No, these are not at home. These are the at-home tests are stool tests where you take a little sample and you send it out, and that can give you some very good information, and that may lead to a colonoscopy in some cases. And in some cases, you may not need another test for 3 years.
Yeah, we'll get calls from patients who have maybe no symptoms at all. You're not bleeding, you're not in pain, you don't have any family history, but you happen to take a Cologuard test and it came back positive. So that's a good time to see a physician about that.
Yeah, so when you have a positive poop test or a positive colon test of some kind, then you have to go see a specialist like me or a gastroenterologist. Gastroenterologists are amazing doctors that have an ability to pass a scope and look inside. Same thing with surgeons who do that. These specialist doctors can do a colonoscopy with a fiber optic instrument, remove a polyp, and either diagnose a colon cancer, remove a polyp and cure you, or give you further news that you need to go on operation.
Is a polyp removal considered a surgery?
No. It's not. So the next step is, sometimes that can happen. When you find an abnormal cell or abnormal cancer, then you refer to a surgeon and a specialty team, and you may require surgery. Sometimes you require radiation. Sometimes you require chemotherapy.
So how do you operate on a colon?
You become a robot. You actually play with a robot, and sometimes you can do that. Sometimes you have to make an incision with a knife. Sometimes you use chopsticks called laparoscopic instruments. So all of these techniques are there to go inside the belly, find the colon, remove the abnormal area, and put it back like plumbing. It's basically plumbing 101. Okay, there's an abnormal pipe, you remove that portion of the pipe and you plug it back together. Boom. Just like that. I was going to say that. So colon cancer is a big deal, guys. This is the first of many talks that we'll give you on this. This is a simple layman terminology we're trying to use so that everybody understands that colorectal cancer is a big deal and we should do something about it altogether.
So some really important things to kind of go over. It is preventable, right? So what are your prevention methods? You should eat right. You should exercise. You should not smoke, drink, do things that aren't healthy for your body. Be conscious of you are what you eat. Make that your motto in everything you do. And
actually listen to your mom and your grandma who always told you eat more veggies and fruits.
That's another thing. So the fiber, get that fiber intake. Give it to your kids, your husband, anyone that needs it. We all need it. So even there are products out there, you can be sneaking them supplements for fiber and they don't even know it to give them that little extra bit.
You know, every talk I bring it up. The pixie dust, the magic pixie dust I talk about. The ground flaxseed.
I have some actually in the back.
You know, ground flaxseed can be put on your salads, on your soup, on your egg, on something. It has omega-3s.
You can bread with it, like your chicken.
And that's a very good fiber to try.
Yeah, so ground flaxseed, that's our number one superfood to recommend, but it must be ground, otherwise it goes right through you.
So there are other fibers also, fiber in your fruits, in your vegetables, in your nuts, in your beans, in all of that.
If it seems fibrous, like a stringy banana peel, that has fiber. Avocados have a lot of fiber. Things that seem fibrous, fruits, that's why so many fruits are fibrous, like a peach or an apple. So
2 apples a day keeps the proctologist away.
That's why I don't eat apples, so I can hang out with one.
That's a new one. I haven't heard that.
The other one, well, it's probably not healthy advice. So
yes. No, please eat apples, okay?
The other thing I wanted to really drive home today, though, too, is that we were talking about being preventable. So again, he said, you get a polyp removed, you stop that cancer right then and there. So, and then you might have checkups, but if you find a precancerous polyp, you remove it, you don't get cancer.
Guys, as a colorectal surgeon and as a doctor and as a human being, I will tell you, please get a colonoscopy if you're age 45
or if
and
you
above.
know someone that is that age and they don't want to, like my dad's a perfect example. He's 60 now. He doesn't want to get it done. You
know, my mother,
pressure these people.
My mom and dad, I had to beg them to get a colonoscopy. Same thing. I mean, there are many people all over who are not getting a colonoscopy or a stool test.
One of our patients, he just came back for, maybe has it been a few years since he was here? And, you know, he was like iterating the story about why he got a colonoscopy. He said, you know, I live on a farm, I have my own chickens, I make my own food, but I have 2 brothers and they got in the mindset to get colonoscopies and they pushed me because they had a polyp or something and they didn't have cancer, but it put the idea in their head like, hey, our bro has to do it too. And he's the one that's the healthy one and the living on the land, off his land. And he's the one that had cancer. And Dr. Farooq was able to help him cure his cancer, remove part of his colon, or was it just polyp? I can't remember. But either way, he was telling me like, I never would have got a colonoscopy if my baby brother convinced me.
So the message is, please talk to your friends and your family members and the YouTubers and the Facebook people and the Instagram people.
And then do it yourself so you can share your story.
Correct, guys. Be the role model yourself. If you have not had a colonoscopy or a stool test at age 45 and above, please see a doctor or a provider. Yes. You can help prevent colorectal cancer, which kills 150,000 Americans every year.
And if you want some materials to convince your people, stop by our office, okay?
Or any of the gastroenterology offices.
You can go on the CDC website
or the American College of Gastroenterology, American College of Colorectal Surgery, American Cancer Society. All of these people are promoting good health, gut health.
There's also coming up in March, because to repeat, it's Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month in March. So wear your royal blue, that's the color for the ribbon. But there's going to be events in the community too. So usually there's a walk nearby in Tampa.
And join us in Oklahoma next week or the week after.
The first weekend in March.
We will be there promoting colorectal cancer awareness.
We're going to be doing a walk with a group of physicians in Oklahoma. So we're going to be spreading the word real far from Florida, but there's things in our area too. So
colorectal cancer, guys, let's help prevent it. Thank you so much for joining in. Yeah. This is Shiraz and Sydney.
That's right.
DaBootyDoc Talk.
And we'll be back next week. Keep an eye on our social media. Give us some comments from today. Let us know how things are going with you. I want to know.
And what's the last word?
Eat more fiber.
Eat more fiber.
That was easy guess. You know it.
Take care, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Take care.
Eat some fiber tonight.
Thank you.